Hey, I've been dreading doing this because it's hard to talk about it, but I know that I need to address it, and I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. My dear sweet, hilarious friend, Ralphie May, passed yesterday morning. I guess he had pneumonia for 6 weeks or something like that, and then died of cardiac arrest. I think the maid found him or something like that. Ralphie May, if you don't know who he is, you're crazy. You cray. He should have been the last comic standing. To me, he was. Rigged much, a-holes. But I digress. I just wanted to kind of share my Ralphie May story because I feel like he deserves that, at least. Like, he's a legend, and he will always live on, by the way. Death doesn't get that part of him. We get to keep that here, because his comedy will live on throughout so many of us. Anyway, like, I always thought he was hilarious since I saw him on Last Comic Standing, which he should have been. Deja vu, much. Anywho, so I found out that he was on Twitter, so I totally followed him, which I never do. I never follow anyone first. Tote superficial probs. I just don't, though, but I, of course, followed him. And we would, like, interact, because he would interact with his fans, which was, and followers, whatever. And he ended up following me. He thought I was pretty funny, he said. And I found out he was doing a show in San Antonio, Texas, and I live in Corpus Christi, so I was like, you know what, I'm totally going to go see you in San Antonio. And he was like, well, come on, bring a friend or bring a guest, and I'll hook you up. So I show up. I'm a little late. So is he, and he's with his ex-wife, Lana, or at the time it was his wife, Lana Turner. And he walks up, and I'm like, hey, and I didn't even think he'd, like, recognize me or remember who I was. He was like, Lana, this is that hilarious girl on Twitter I was telling you about. This is Sarah Spivey. This is her. Lana, this is her, the hilarious one. And I was like, is this the Twilight Zone? Like, Ralphie May is telling someone that I'm the funny one? What an honor, So he sat me and my friend in VIP, and we were driving home that night. He had offered to pay for us to get a room so we could stay an extra night so we didn't have to drive home, but we ended up driving home. I wish that we wouldn't have now. Like, looking back, obviously, I wish that I would have stayed in the room and we could have hung out a little bit longer, a little bit more. Then he ended up, like, on Twitter, he was giving away tickets to, like, his show in Vegas. I had never been to Vegas, so I definitely was like, hey, buddy, what do we got to do to win? And he goes, you already won. I sent him a message. I said, what do I got to do to win? I've never been to Vegas. He goes, well, you're going. You already won. And I'm like, I did? How? And he was like, you just did. And I'm like, oh my God, what a coinky dink. I did not. Speaking of, rigged much? Just kidding. Paybacks, Last Comic Standing, losers. Anywho, then, so he said that I had won the contest, and so I invited my mutual friend from Twitter that I'd met via Twitter. She's from Seattle, Washington. Shout out to Mary, my little sugar butt. Love you, sis. We'll always have Vegas. And what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Let me find out you told someone about my toilet yoga. Biatch. Oops. Anyways, stand back, paparazzi. Crickets. Okay, so we had such a great time in Vegas. There was a lot of military at his show, just all different ethnicities. I mean, because that's how Ralphie rolls, dude. Ralphie and rolls. Don't put that together in the same sentence. Minus 10 redundant. Anyway, so that was oh, we had a really good time. Like, I went swimming with his wife and kids. And he had asked me to do a podcast. He was like, I'm going to start up a podcast. Why don't you do one with me and my wife? And I was like, okay. And, like, I never did it. Like, God, there's so many things that he gave me opportunities on, and I just blew them. Like Sarah Silverman does anyone that can give her a job. You know what I mean? So, yeah, had a good steak dinner with him. I mean, we just had a great time. He picked us up. I mean, he, at the airport, limos picked us up when we arrived in Vegas. So, I mean, we were like styling and profiling. It was a great time. I mean, that's my Vegas. That's the good memory of Vegas that I'll have, except for the toilet yoga part. You don't even want to know. Don't eat at Steaks and Shake or whatever that place, Steak and Shake. Ugh. If you do, don't get the buffalo, whatever, burger. Ugh. Shut up, sugar butt. Anywho, he was a wonderful human being, larger than life. Sorry, snot came out on that one. Just because he really was larger than life, like literally. He knows it. He knows. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. It's not like I'm telling a secret. Shoot. He never met a buffet he didn't like. Ralphie the Buffet Slayer. Just kidding. That's Michael Moore's title. Ralphie, it's not cool, bro. Like, you were way too young, and you were not done. You were not done. I mean, your memory lives on through your fans, your work, which speaks for itself. The, like, laughter from, like, the gut that, like, hurts sometimes because it's so deep down there and so funny that, like, you can't even, like, it won't even come out. You know, a real laugh. And through your children, that's how you live on. And, you know, that's the stuff legends are made of, my friend. You're up there with living it up, you know, literally with Greg Giraldo, and I know you probably were, like, pissed about Tom Petty, so, like, I'm sure you were bummed out about that, so there you go. Finally get to smoke weed with Jesus, bro. With Jesus. Puff, puff, pass, too, Ralphie. Puff, puff, pass. I'll miss you, my friend. Thank you for everything that you did for me and everything you tried to do for me that I was, like, lazy about. I am grateful for the time that we got to spend together, and I hope I find peace with it soon. I love you, friend. Thanks for the memories. Rest in pieces. God bless you, Ralphie May. Thank you for letting me share. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend.